Tonight, while you sleep, something is happening inside your spine that you cannot feel, cannot see, and have absolutely no idea is occurring. If you are over 50 years old, the discs in your lower back are being slowly crushed. The nerves running through your neck are being strangled. The cartilage in your facet joints is being ground down, hour by hour, night by night. And by the time the pain becomes impossible to ignore, the damage is already done. Doctors call it degenerative disc disease. Surgeons call it spinal stenosis. But here is what nobody is telling you. The number one cause is not your age, it is not your genetics, and it is not something you did during the day. It is the exact position your body is lying in right now while you sleep. You have been doing it for years. You thought it was normal. You thought it was harmless. And that is precisely why it has been destroying your spine without you ever suspecting a thing. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the sleep positions that are causing permanent, irreversible damage to your spine after 50, and exactly what to do tonight to stop it before it goes any further. Here is what most people do not realize. After the age of 50, the discs between your vertebrae, the soft gel-like cushions that absorb shock and keep your spine flexible, have already lost 20 to 30% of their original water content. They are thinner. They are more fragile. They cannot bounce back the way they once could. Every hour you spend in a damaging sleep position is not just causing discomfort. It is placing direct, unrelenting mechanical stress on tissue that is no longer able to repair itself the way it did when you were 30. Your doctor may have mentioned arthritis or disc degeneration or stenosis. What they likely did not tell you is that the position you sleep in every single night is either slowing that process down or actively accelerating it. The mainstream advice, buy a better mattress, try to relax, completely misses the point. My name is Dr. Richard Wells, and I have spent over 22 years working with adults over 50 who came to me with chronic back pain, cervical spine damage, and deteriorating quality of life. Many of them had tried everything: new beds, pain medications, physical therapy, and yet they kept getting worse. When I started looking carefully at how they were sleeping, the exact position, the pillow height, the alignment of their hips, the answer was right there. I have sat across from too many patients who looked at me with tired eyes and asked why nobody warned them sooner. I am done staying quiet. Everything I share with you today is grounded in real medical research, explained in a way you can actually use tonight, not next month, not after you buy something expensive, but tonight. Today you will learn exactly why stomach sleeping is one of the most destructive things a person over 50 can do to their spine, and how to break the habit. How to correct the 3 hidden mistakes that most side sleepers make that are compressing their hip joints and twisting their lumbar vertebrae without them even knowing it, and the one simple tool that you already have at home that back sleepers can use to immediately relieve the pressure on their lower spine and wake up feeling genuinely rested. The first and most damaging position on this list is stomach sleeping. Many people do not see this as dangerous at all. They think it is simply comfortable, that they have always slept this way, that their body has adapted. That is not what the research shows. Here is what is actually happening inside your body. Your cervical spine, the 7 vertebrae in your neck, was designed to maintain a gentle forward curve, what doctors call the lordotic curve. When you sleep on your stomach, you are forced to turn your head completely to one side just to breathe. For 6, 7, 8 hours, your neck is rotated at a full 90-degree angle. The muscles on one side are stretched beyond their natural range. The muscles on the other side are compressed. The facet joints, the small joints at the back of each cervical vertebra, are jammed together under sustained load. A study published in the European Spine Journal found that sustained rotational stress on cervical facet joints during sleep directly contributes to accelerated cartilage breakdown in adults over 45, and that is only the neck. Think about what is happening in your lower back. Your abdomen, the heaviest part of your torso, sinks down into the mattress. Your lumbar spine arches upward into an extreme extension. The intervertebral discs at L4 and L5, which are the most common sites of herniation in adults over 50, are being compressed at the back edge for the entire night. It is like taking a water balloon and pressing down on one side for 8 hours. Eventually, something gives. I once treated a 63-year-old woman who had slept on her stomach her entire adult life. She came to me describing what she thought was a pulled muscle in her lower back. An MRI told a different story. She had a significant disc herniation at L5S1 and moderate foraminal stenosis in 2 cervical levels. She was shocked. She had not been in an accident. She had not done heavy lifting. She had simply slept the same way for 40 years. After 8 months of positional retraining and specific exercises, she was pain-free for the first time in over a decade. Stop right now and honestly think. How many mornings this week did you wake up with stiffness in your neck or a dull ache deep in your lower back? Comment that number below, because that number is telling you something important. The fix is not complicated. You will not be able to force yourself to change overnight, and that is completely normal. Start by placing a long body pillow along your side. Your body instinctively turns towards something to hold in the night. Give it something to turn to. Even if you only manage the first 2 or 3 hours on your side or back, that is 2 or 3 hours of healing instead of damage. That change alone will be felt in the morning. Now, the second mistake is even more dangerous for adults who think they are already doing the right thing, because they are sleeping on their side, which sounds correct, but they are making 3 specific errors that most people have never been told about. That is where we are going next. Side sleeping is generally the best position for adults over 50, but the way most people actually do it creates 3 serious problems that quietly destroy the hip joint, twist the lumbar spine, and compress the nerves in the neck, all at the same time. Let us start with the neck. The cervical spine must remain in a neutral position throughout the night. Neutral means your ear is aligned with your shoulder, your nose is pointed straight forward, and there is no lateral bend in any direction. When your pillow is too thin, your head drops downward and the neck bends toward the mattress. When it is too thick, your head is pushed upward and the neck bends the other direction. Both of these positions place sustained tension on the joints, ligaments, and discs of the cervical spine. A study from the Journal of Physical Therapy Science confirmed that pillow height is directly correlated with cervical spine alignment during sleep, and that incorrect pillow height significantly increases muscular tension and intervertebral pressure. The second problem is what I call the waist gap. Your shoulders are wide, your hips are wide, but your waist, the space between your lower ribs and your hip bones, is narrower. In side sleeping, this narrower midsection hangs unsupported. Your spine sags laterally for the entire night. By morning, the muscles along your lumbar spine are in sustained contraction. The joints at L3, L4, and L5 have been under unequal loading all night, and you feel it the moment you try to get out of bed. The third and most overlooked problem is the position of the knees. When the top leg lies flat on the lower leg with no support between them, gravity pulls the pelvis into a forward tilt. That tilt rotates the lumbar vertebrae. It stretches the piriformis muscle and compresses the greater trochanteric bursa, which is the primary cause of that burning ache on the outside of the hip that so many adults over 50 describe. I once had a 71-year-old patient who had been told he needed a hip replacement. He was in genuine distress. After 2 weeks of correcting his sleeping position, nothing else, just 2 simple changes I am about to give you, his hip pain dropped by over 60%. His orthopedist could not explain it. I could. Stop right now and honestly ask yourself, have you ever put a pillow between your knees when you sleep on your side? Most people have not. Comment yes or no below right now. The fix is simple. Fold a bath towel and slide it beneath your pillow to reach the exact height that keeps your head level with your spine. You do not need to spend money on a specialty pillow. Tuck a thin folded towel under your waist in the gap between your hip and your ribs to keep your lumbar spine from sagging. And place a firm pillow between your knees so your legs are parallel and your pelvis remains level. 3 points of support. Your body will feel the difference immediately. But the third position, back sleeping, has one silent mistake that almost no one corrects. And it is the reason why so many back sleepers still wake up with lower back pain even though they believe they are doing everything right. Do not go anywhere. Back sleeping is, for most adults over 50, the gold standard. It distributes body weight evenly, keeps the spine elongated, and reduces pressure on any single joint. But there is one specific mistake that turns this ideal position into a source of chronic lumbar pain, and almost no one talks about it. When you lie on your back with your legs fully extended and flat, the hip flexor muscles, specifically the iliopsoas, which runs from your lumbar vertebrae down to your femur, are placed in a lengthened passive stretch. Over several hours, this sustained stretch actually causes those muscles to pull on the lumbar vertebrae from the front, creating an exaggerated lordotic arch. The disc spaces at L4 and L5 are under compressive load. The small stabilizing muscles along the spine, the multifidus, are in sustained activation trying to resist that pull. By morning, the lower back is exhausted, stiff, and painful. A landmark study published in the journal Spine demonstrated that lumbar lordosis, the degree of arch in the lower back, increases significantly during passive supine lying with straight legs, and that this positional hyperlordosis directly correlates with increased intradiscal pressure and facet joint loading. I once treated a 58-year-old man, a retired engineer, who described his mornings as spending the first 10 minutes hunched over the kitchen counter, waiting for his back to unlock before he could stand upright. He had excellent posture during the day, he exercised, he stretched, but his sleep position was undermining everything he was doing. Within a week of correcting this one thing, he was standing straight from the moment he got out of bed. Stop and honestly think. Does your lower back feel worse in the first few minutes after waking than at any other point in the day? That is the signature of this exact problem. Tell me in the comments, yes or no. The fix could not be simpler. Take a firm pillow, a rolled blanket, or a folded towel and place it underneath your knees so they are bent at approximately 30 degrees. That is it. This single adjustment releases the tension in the iliopsoas, flattens the lumbar arch to its natural curve, and takes the compressive load off the L4 and L5 disc spaces. Many of my patients describe it as the first night in years they actually woke up without stiffness. You will understand exactly what I mean tomorrow morning. Let us bring everything together. Stomach sleeping places 9 hours of rotational stress on your cervical spine and extreme extension loading on your lumbar discs. Begin replacing it tonight with a body pillow. Side sleeping requires 3 specific supports: a pillow at the correct height for your neck, a thin support under your waist gap, and a firm pillow between your knees to keep your pelvis level. Back sleeping demands one critical correction: a pillow or rolled support under the knees to release the hip flexor tension that creates hyperlordosis during sleep. If you have been making these mistakes for years, and most people have, it is not too late. The human body has a capacity for recovery that genuinely humbles me after more than 2 decades in medicine. The discs, the joints, the surrounding muscles, they respond, they adapt. They begin to heal when you stop assaulting them night after night. What you do tonight matters. Think about what it would feel like to swing your legs out of bed tomorrow morning and stand up straight. No stiffness, no first 10 minutes of pain, no hunching over the counter waiting for your back to wake up with you. Think about moving through your day with your full energy, not spending the first hour of every morning recovering from your own sleep. That is what this is really about. Not just less pain, but your independence, your confidence, your quality of life in the years ahead. I want to hear from you. What does your typical morning feel like right now? And which one of these 3 positions have you been sleeping in for most of your life? Leave your answer in the comments. I read every single one, and I mean that. Subscribe to this channel. Every week I share specific research-backed guidance for adults over 50 who refuse to accept that pain and decline are inevitable. If this helped you, hit the like button right now so that more people can find this information before the damage goes further than it needs to. Write the words, "I will change tonight," in the comments. Your commitment, stated out loud, may be exactly what someone else needs to see to take the same step. Share this video with someone you care about, a spouse, a sibling, a close friend. You may never know whose quality of life you just protected. This is Dr. Richard Wells. Take care of your spine. It is the one structure in your body that everything else depends on, and it is worth protecting every single night.